What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part lucky number 13 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Elspeth and Gavin von Wolfen got yet another great battle against the massive hordes of undead out of Castle Drakenhof. One more turn until Drakenhof upgrades to final tier. One more fight with Vlad von Karstein. We'll see the vampire counts of Sylvania and destroyed at last. Well, I'm sure that Manny is still doing okay down in the desert where he is. I do see, decent amounts of Empiric corruption all over this place, unsurprisingly. I wonder how well Kugath is doing. Not as well as he was doing in the Thorgrim campaign. He's probably getting overrun by the orcs, especially the Bloody Hands orcs, which are probably occupying all of this territory. Orcs in general are doing very well in this campaign because with the Iron Claw, basically all of this is orcs, all of this is orcs, this is orcs. Grimgore has all of this, so this is orcs, this is Crooked Moon, this is, I don't remember, Drippin' Fangs or whatever those guys are called. This is all orcs, this is all orcs, this is all orcs, and yeah, orcs. Good job, orcs. And of course, we've got the broken axe, but we should be able to take care of them shortly. Anyway, orcs aside, other than that, we got the Staff of Volan's quest completed with Balthazar Gelt, getting us the nice reward that we wanted, and him completing his set of items. Unlike the other item sets, unfortunately, he doesn't provide any plus control to the entire faction, but at least he gives us Winds of Magic power reserve capacity for all armies, which does make sense, you know, having a Grand Patriarch in the Supreme Patriarch rather in the Empire as opposed to none. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this turn slash this particular episode, well, in this particular episode is wipe out Sylvania among other stuff, but what do we still have left in this turn, I wonder? Actually, it's not looking like there's all that much here, I think, or at least if there was anything that I didn't do last episode that I forgot to do, apparently I forgot about it. So I guess we can just more or less ignore it now, which I guess is what we're going to do. So, Emil von Corden, stay there. I did decide to start putting the things in the woods instead of the Hochland army into the Ulrich army. There, okay, look, we're not going to get a Norscan ally. It's not going to happen because Norscans hate us due to the massive amounts of aversion and all that. And we need something to represent the children of Ulrich, which are basically Empire werewolves, and the things in the woods will serve that particular purpose. They're close enough in what they look like, at least, since we're not going to get skin wolves. So that's fine. We need children of Ulrich, since the game refuses to add them. We'll use these guys. We'll put 4 of them in this army to keep it a little bit diversified in what's in there as well. Anyway, I guess we're just going to end the turn, because I don't think there's anything else left to do. Damage building where? Oh, it's Wissenheim. No, we don't need to do anything about that. It's still too far away from any of our current armies. We do have a lot of outpost constructions available, but none that are critical at this time. And I guess we're good. End turn. Alright, the Nemesis Crown, Visions of the Empire. The crown lies near a large forest in the Empire. Oh, again, another useless, another useless hint, quote-unquote. Anyway, and what do we have here? Stirland and Talabecland. Ooh, we can do nothing. Talabecland is the one that we will be confederating first before Stirland, because I want the Knights of the Blazing Sun chapter house more than I want the Stir River Patrol, at least at the current time, so I guess we're going to endure Talabecland's candidate. Have we given this one a read? The Council of States is an important group. Yes, we have. All right. Endorse Talabecland's candidate. Yes. All right. Recruitment cost -5 for Aldebrand Ludenhof. Ally begins outpost construction. Grimgore's Zardboy's Wall fails. We don't care. Incantation. Ally occupy. You've finally done it, Stirland. You've finally become useful. They have knocked out. Ooh, hello, changeling. We gotta knock you out, but we still gotta deal with Huh, Vlad's not back. Well, that's interesting. I wonder why. He's normally back in one turn, but I guess not this time. Either way, I believe he's done for. We do have Siege Attacker here, so I think we'll want to push Elspeth to... Wait, do we have Siege Attacker? Yes. To go for the changeling. So what we'll do is this. Faction destroyed Templehof. Improved cavalry armor. Good. Defeat the Nemesis Crown. Oh! It's right here. We could have Elspeth do it again. Or we could have Gavin do it again afterwards. I don't like that these guys are moving around either. Watch them pick up the Nemesis crown. That might be funny. Yeah, but we have to save the points and... Yeah, you know, you're gonna go to Castle Tempelhof. Imperial Griffin for Gusser, Mechanical Steed for somebody. Okay, wait, we'll auto-resolve this because we already fought those. I was hoping Vlad would come back and raise a ton of dead, but it looks like it's not happening this episode, which, you know, not a big deal. I'm gonna pop into, I don't know, this stance to help out, and I guess you can be in that stance when attacking. Like so. This should be decisive victory, and how badly will it damage our tank is the real question. Let's find out. It damaged it, but not horrifically. It should still heal up. And we will occupy Castle Drakenhof at tier 4, thereby destroying Sylvania. Alrighty, there we go. And so the 4th Vampire Wars come to an end with an Imperial victory. An unusual location in Hornau. What do we have here? Oh, this is uncomfortably close to Skaven. Diplomatic relations -20 with vampire counts. Oh no. Whatever will we do? Sacred Scythe Chapter House. The Scythes are unwelcome and distrusted for their brutality and unorthodox methods, but work tirelessly to root out all vampiric threats. So this gives us fear when fighting against vamps, corruption, reduction local region, and faction-wide immunity to vampiric attrition. Well, that's okay, minus the fact that there are no vampires left in the Empire. But nonetheless, a little bit late on that one, game, but I appreciate it. I'm not a big fan of the -4 control, admittedly, but it's still something that we'll keep. Man, it's a little bit of Outriders grenade launchers. That's an interesting garrison. Okay, a research rate +5, we gotta put that on somebody. Short victory! Oh, right, by knocking out Sylvania for good, we've achieved short victory. And, well, we still got a long ways to go and a lot of stuff to do, and still unite the Empire. We still got 3 provinces outside of the Empire, etc., etc., etc. Lovely. But the hero capacity for all heroes, the control +2, the character XP gain, all very nice things to have. Now, where are we going to give that student to? Let's say you. Initiate, ancillaries, where is student? Down here. Alright, what's our research rate at, by the way? 320. Alright, still very low. We need it like 500-ish if we don't want to take to like turn, you know, 150 to complete all text. Elspeth, I would like you to start moving this way. I guess in channeling. Move towards the changeling. Hopefully he doesn't disappear. Maybe he'll go after these guys, but we'll see. If we can catch him, that would be just suavely. There we go, and then this will keep Elspeth busy for a turn, but she'll want to knock out the Legion of Setup and then move down towards Grimgore out here. Frankly, we might push Gavin to move down there as well. Anyway, speaking of Gavin, you are going to swap in the Gunderman's Surefires for those crossbows, because they feel more appropriate for Drakewalders. And Drakewalders, and I mean, these are high-rank crossbows. We might deliver them to a Stirland army later on. Alright, so you stay there. Now you've got these guys, and assuming that we don't want more Drakewald riders in here, considering I'm reasonably happy with the halberdiers and such. Assuming we don't, well, we might put some Eldred's Guard in here, but we also might not, depending. The 90 armor is already looking pretty good, admittedly. I'll think about it. It's a solid sort of stack using, you know, relatively low tier units, and it will probably have fun battles wherever those battles happen. Anyway, Karl, I guess you're gonna go after Mr. Bogreb, whatever. Oh, also, wait, okay, we'll start doing that in order in a second. I just want to do 2 things first. You're gonna go to the Remnants of Battle and then proceed to the Mysterious Island real quick. Like so, and this will give us Vision of the Scaling. Okay, so you're gonna go for Hollow True Silver. Heavy iron, nice. And then get as close to the Mysterious Island here as possible. Hopefully there isn't a full scaling stack out here, but it doesn't look like there is. Grab that Mysterious Island, then keep going. Now that we have Vision of the Scaling, means we don't have to worry about not having the defensive alliance, so... Boris. Which should give us vision of a number of other factions. It might behoove us to take a look at diplomacy then. Alright, let's just see what we've got here. Quick deal. Alright, non-aggression. Well, Legion of Setup, they know what's coming. And, ooh, Ancestral Throng. And Ironbrow's Expedition? What gave us vision of that? Oh. They are not super friendly with the Iron Skins, are they? But we're friendly with the Iron Skins. I wonder if they were in a fight. Aversion and trespasses. It doesn't look like that much. These guys are currently fighting Loish's indulgence and servants of the Conclave, but not fighting anybody to the south of them. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Oh, they're willing to do a trade agreement? Ooh, wait, let's take a look at trade agreements. Okay, so Ancestral Throng and Ironbrow's expeditions and Ironskins are ready for it. Oh, we got Vision and Daughters of the Forest as well. I was hoping to do the trade agreements with some Wood Elves, but okay, let's do Ironbrow's then. I mean, 0-0 on this one. You know what? Let's do the Iron Skins. I think we might still be able to trade with the dwarfs as well. Yeah, we can still do the Ironbrow's expedition. And
times, perhaps we should stand together.
I'm not entirely sure we want to do a full-fledged military alliance with them as yet. I feel like the defensive alliance would probably be the better pick, and just hope that the Iron Skins don't attack them. Guess we'll find out. Do it. Plus, we'll get more vision down here, which might give us also vision of the Bretonnians down there.
Yes.
I'm actually impressed that most of these factions are still kicking. Ooh, that'll also mean we need to immediately declare war on the Tzeentchen faction so that they don't use their stupid Tzeentchen abilities on us. Alrighty, okay, wait, let me just make sure that we declare war on them. Yeah, okay, declare war on you, don't call your allies to help, you are currently at war with nobody, but yeah, call it. Just like so. Because I'm pretty sure they can't swap territories around as long as you're in an active war with them, which is, if you're wondering why I'm doing that. Alright, back to the trades. We can still do the Ancestral Throng, and we could do a defensive alliance with them, which will give us more vision. There, oh wow, the bounce of power is basically gone. Oh, I think Scarbrand's attacking them. Wait, if we do... A moment. If we do trade agreement and non-aggression, they would give us a lot of money, and then we could do military access and defensive alliance? Let's try that. Maybe we shouldn't actually be taking their money, but it's too late. We've done it now. There we go. What does Grombrindle need money for? He's a ghost, effectively, so, yeah.
Very well.
Alright, and, ooh, alright, well, they got a new army coming in. Hopefully, I see Gromby has died. But well, that's not been known to keep them down. Daughters of the Forest, yes. I would actually prefer the defensive alliance with you, but it looks like that's not possible right now, unless we declare war on, I don't know, one of these guys. Could give it some more vision as well. I guess we could do non-aggression pact and military access for now. Like so. And, oh, that'll immediately allow us to do the defensive alliance. Yeah, we'll do the defensive. I'm not going to go straight into military alliance. Eventually, probably will, but at this time, I think we just want the allegiance to start coming in. Good, more allies. Hey, this gives us an even number of military and defensive allies as well. And I'll think about the military alliances and stuff like that. Norn, we can ignore Guardians of the Valley. I would like to ally with them, but I'm a little bit wary of pissing off some of the... well, actually... The only one that this will piss off is Volkmar, possibly, and Volkmar will be confederated anyway, so this probably doesn't matter, so we could do that, I guess.
Behold, my great...
Some Tomb King allies might be nice, after all, because we might get some Tomb Kings units in a few armies. I don't dislike the idea. Anyway, let's see what else we have. Karakazor, Legion of Setep, and Bugman's Brewery. No, we're not going to bother with those. We're saving the military alliance with the Great Orthodoxy and several of the others because we want to be trading territory, so we can ignore that. I do want the military alliance with the Ice Court, but funnily enough, they're the ones that don't wanna. Do we have any missions from anybody? We do. Great Orthodoxy. Kill Bugrub Pigkissa in a few seconds, we will. And you want us to kill Carnal Stare, the most Slaneshi Cornite name I've ever heard. Bartworg. Let's go for Bartworg. Lovely. Alrighty, and just so that we don't move first and ask questions later, let's steal tech. Hey, there we go, more tech thievery. And you, guess what? More tech thievery. And no, Imperial Pegasus. Why do you need a Pegasus to steal tech? Well, I guess, you know, hightail it out of there after stealing. But admittedly, you're stealing tech from orcs. What possible tech could you be stealing from orcs? Well, to be fair, pump wagons. Why not give us the ability to make halfling pump wagons? I want halfling pump wagons versus snotling pump wagons now. Anyway, you are trying to go to Machinations of the College, so we will go for it. Doesn't really matter, one of these. Like so. And I believe there's at least one more tech thief out there somewhere, so... Boris Boka? How did that happen? Wow, okay, so... that's Boris Ursus. I don't know why he's an Empire captain, but it does amuse me tremendously. Yeah, you're gonna go to Emil von Corden's army. And that army is going to have 4 units of 4 champions, all champion Empire captains. I like the idea that every single unit of the 5 Demigryph Knights that this army is going to have a Demigryph riding Empire captain or Bruckner at their head. Makes sense to me. Philip Ivan the Crazy. I wanted you to do several things here. Oh, we also have the... Yeah, we have the Wolfkin available now. Okay. We need to deal with this. 1 second. Alright, so here's what we'll do. We will pop into Requisition, or Conscription rather, and complete this. I know it's kind of a waste of 1 turn, but whatever. Let's do this. Conscription. Wait. We can use global recruitment as well at this time. Do you have any more recruitment reductions at this time? You unfortunately do not, but that's okay. I'm willing to forego a little bit of cash. 708. How much for Pistoliers? If I can see them in here. 340? Alright, let's do that then. It's cheaper. And I believe that's it, minus we can do 1 more Pistolier or 1 more Wolfkin, or if we should desire it, 1 more Outrider with Grenade Launcher. Let's do 1 more Outrider with a Grenade Launcher. I don't know whether we need 5 or not, but the Grenade Army will need them. Electoral Machinations, Conscription to Mr. Aldebrand Ludenhof. Like so. Isn't it lovely? Alright, then that will allow Emil von Corden to pick up his... Oh, okay, fine. Not pick up his thing. Not this turn anyway. You are going to grab these Outriders. And you are going to start moving out this way to deliver them to the Grenade Army. Mostly because it was the closest place that we could build them. Stefan von Kessel. I guess we could have you deliver stuff because you're still waiting for at least a few turns for the rest of your guys to arrive, so it's not the biggest of deals. Alright, you go there. Oh, Gosser can do the same thing. Oh, and he does have another Pistolier. Okay, you know what? You go here. We can have you deliver them. We're still waiting to complete these armies, so, yeah. Ludenhof, then. I would like you to get 4 Wolfkin. Do we actually want to maybe build... You know what? Keep building Wolfkin. More Wolfkin. Wolfkin for everybody. You get a Wolfkin, and you get a Wolfkin. You know what, let's do 2 Pistoliers and 4 Wolfkin. This has a Pistolier unit, and if we need 1 more, then we need 1 more. I don't know if I'm going to bother with Noble Sons Abroad in this particular army. I might or might not. It's mostly just I want things to be able to chase enemies down, because this army, if we just keep it to like 5 units, it'll have the annoying sort of aspect to it, where it can't chase things down very well, and thus would have to sort of fight battles, the same battles repeatedly, and I don't want to do that. Alrighty, so you'll grab those. The Wolfkin will go to Baldric Stroham, and the rest of the Wolfkin will actually go to Leopold von Bildhofen, rather. You are also going to build the Knights of the White Wolf chapter house immediately, because we're going to want those Knights of the White Wolf in 4 turns to join the Teutogan Guard. Lovely. And yeah, we really need more engineer workshops everywhere. And more wizards. Man, I can't believe we've only got like 3 wizards that are, you know, fighty wizards on the field. Well, not fighty wizards, but like battle wizards that are actually in armies. Anyway, go kill this guy.
In the name of Magnus.
Oh, you can't reach him in 1 turn. Alright, fine. You're gonna be that way, game. Hopefully you can actually cross this despite the zone of control. I guess we're gonna find out next turn. Oh, no, I just realized of an issue. If you go too close to it, one of these guys will attack it and use Karl as a reinforcement. We do not want that. We want Karl to go here. Nice try, game. You almost got me. Alright, hopefully he's out of range now. It's kind of hard to tell with Deathclaw because he's got a pretty big model, but it looks like we're out of range. Okay, good. Almost screwed myself there. Not in a good way. Grisguts, Dolph. That's your target. Ooh. I see one annoyance. This guy used to have 3 armies. The 3rd one has disappeared. But nonetheless, we should kill Grisguts, because A, it's a good army, and B, well, it's always fun to do. Dolph. Let's level you up, and then let's get on into it. We're trying to get towards Deadly Onslaught. Might as well... reload versus more damage. I'm gonna say reload first, damage second. You, Fire Wizard, Bright Wizard, rather. Still trying to move towards Machinations of the College. Let's move into Untapped Potential and then pop in, I'm going to say Improved Scrying Techniques first for the magic item drop chance. We should level anyway over the end turn and then it won't matter. Survivalist into Slippery, Speed, Acceleration, Melee Defense, Melee Resistance. And I'm trying to remember what the... Okay, well, you definitely will want Restock, but Master of Ballistics, Accuracy, and Reload in Area is too good to pass up. I gotta remember we need one of these for Gelt as well, because he has a significant number of war machines and such. Also, sorry, my neighbor's dog is barking, so if you hear barking on the recording, I can't do anything about that. Anyway, let's get you all-terrain vehicle for obvious reasons. And then I guess we'll get the Mercurial Shot and Black Powder Discipline start moving through... Oh! And we can get machinist preparations immediately. I'd say this army rarely runs out of ammunition, mostly because of the presence of the war wagon, so we don't need that. Anyway, we gotta knock these guys out. Can't leave them sitting here. So we will declare war. They're at war with nobody. Okay, so I guess we just declare war on them directly. Fair enough. Dolph. I never get tired of seeing you fight, so go. Kill Grisguts and then move to Amug after. Grisguts will fight us, and it's a Pyrrhic victory. I mean, this looks like an actually genuinely fairly tough fight. We also got to be careful about the Hydra's breath, killing off like a full unit of Nordland Mariners. And, ooh, the Gougers, or Gorgers, rather. Oh, the Gougers. It's a good name for a unit. But anyway, gonna be annoying, but anyway, let's do it. Alrighty, well, Dolph was making a speech, but I didn't want to miss the takedown of the enemy Hydra as we Vanguard deployed all 3 of our units of Outriders and both of our units of sniping war wagons out there, and they were able to bring it down just as they started to get charged by these Squig Hoppers. Should be a pretty interesting fight, generally speaking. Looks like a Squig herd has reached our battle line over on the right flank, and we're going to start running and gunning as we do. I'm also very glad that this is a particular battle with with nice lighting. Everything is nice and visible. Let's see how it all works out. Anyway, the enemy Feral Carnosaur is our next target, and we'll get sniped. And we're just going to keep backing off and firing away. Certainly to be a quick fight, as the enemy army, or at least various elements of it, are fairly fragile. We, of course, have to leave behind the Witch Hunter retinue, but they serve their purpose in this particular army by getting torn to shreds and blocking some enemies off. Dolph, of course, doesn't care about any of this. He is just riding around in the front lines with his steam tank, ramming everything that gets in his way. Knocking down Chaos Spawn and just keeping on moving, firing in every direction as he does. We are going to reform here, however. I'm going to pop up that Flaming Sword of Ruin Overcast and get to firing everybody. We can't move away from it, so we're going to take the time to do a little bit of extra damage and bump that up even further by moving Dolph on in and activating Ballistics Calibration on top of everything else. Now this puts the, let's see, Northern Mariners reload down to 5 seconds. Not quite maxed out at 4 seconds, but close to it, so they fire pretty darn quickly. And we'll be bringing those Chaos Spawn down very quickly as well. In fact, most of the enemy army is in pretty bad shape. The bounce powers at about 90% in our favor. There are still a few Chaos Spawn milling around over on the right flank as well, but they're, by the looks of it, attempting to give chase to the tank as it charged on in. And that's a bad idea, and they're certainly not going to achieve all that much with it. Alright, and it looks like the main host has in fact already shattered. Just a matter of time now as Dolph rides down the enemy lord, or crushes him. And we gun down the last remainders of the enemy Chaos Spawn, unbreakable as they are, but not ungun downable. very few things are ungundownable. There we go. With that, the enemy shatters, and the battle is ours. Beautiful. Very, very fast fight, almost on an ambush level, but since the enemy had a fast-moving army, basically either they overrun our lines, or our lines gun them down before they do. Simple as that this time around. We'll give chase to whatever enemy units we can, especially with our fast-moving pistoliers out there. Imagine at least a couple of units will escape, but otherwise, this army is largely destroyed. Lovely work from Dolph, as always. Alright, nice work as always from Dolph's run-and gunners, and looks like it... Kill-wise, probably unsurprisingly, the grenade units, 30,000 and 34,000 damage, though a solid workout of, well, probably pretty much every single unit. 11,000 damage on the Firstborn Riders there, free company, 14,000 damage, very solid. 18,000 on the Sterling's Revenge as well. Dolph himself, 18k, but he always does well. We'll take the 3,000 money. We'll chase this army down, and then we'll turn to hopefully chase down the second element of theirs. Yes, Lichbone Panadolf. You do good work, my friend. Yeah, we need to kill this one off, and then we need to chase down this one as well. So I'll resolve this and hope it doesn't do too much damage. We're okay. I guess we'll take the heals. And I assume you won't be able to reach this other army. You will not, but you can march stance as close to it as possible. And we shall see. I'm hoping that these guys don't underway down here, but it's a distinct possibility that they do. And they do have another little army running around down there. Alright. Well, and we shall see. I suppose if they underway, maybe we can march stance towards them and have Gustav then attack them, and then trade the Noble Sons Abroad as well, which would be good. Otherwise, man, there was something that I was trying to remember to do, but I no longer remember what it was while we were fighting that. 2 turns until Boris is back up and running. What do we have in terms of... Ooh, hello. Wait, we have considerations. Ballistic expert for Humphrey Brookert. I would like to see this. Not you, Waldemar. A recruiter. If we were to replace you, would we be able to get a new lord at rank 8? Yes. So we can get the ballistics expert up and running for you. I'm also thinking we remove one of these units and put a Cathayan, whatchamacallit. You know, the floaty guys, the sky lanterns. Yeah, this army could probably really put a sky lantern to use. Are we still not able to get military access through this territory? No, we're not. Wood elves being irritating. This isn't even part of Athel Loren, but I guess to avoid annoying all the wood elves, we will... we'd have to travel through there to... okay. This is what you get for letting the wood elves live, I guess. But there's nothing we can do to avoid it but to ford the river over on this side. Alright, fine. You're gonna go this way through Montfort without trespassing. And then we'll loop around to the orcs. Hopefully they can hold on to some territories. Grom has moved to Bears of Quidleux. Huh, that's not good. And the reason it's not good is because it might allow Alberic to regain some of his territories, but we'll see. Anyway, a recruiter. You'll be back to recruit. But for now, we will want to get Mr. Ballistics Expert. 25% range for gunnery infantry and gunnery. For the gunnery army. Like so. Beautiful. Alright. That's a not insignificant power-up. These two will be replaced by steam tanks, but, you know, it's going to take a bit to get them because we don't have capacity. And I do feel like this army will need a... maybe we could have gotten this guy here and then... Oh, no. Ignore me. I was just wondering whether we should have just not replaced the Lord to save on time and then traveled, but it doesn't really matter. What we can do with you... Alright, we need the steam tanks to act as a melee unit. I mean, we do have a couple of Null Ironsides in this army for that particular purpose, but that's probably not enough. Otherwise, every single unit other than the 2 bordermen in here have long guns, and I feel like the bordermen could be helpful here. Alrighty, a Rude Marcher, Inspiring Presence, and then max out Pistol Core, and then we can save the rest of your points to get to Ballistics Calibration and Ballistics Instructor. Including Hold the Line? Yeah, I think including hold the line. Alright, then you guys will get points when you're, you know, slightly higher leveled. Alright, ooh, wait. You guys have Hunter's Talons. Out of curiosity, do we have a third Hunter's Talon available? No, we don't. Alright. Now, funnily enough, we could also give Hunter's Talons to the Hawklanders, which would also make some sense. I'll give that some thought as well. Also, Jürgen Leitdorf, we might move you in somewhere. We need more capacity for... Aha, there we go. What do we have here? Observant? No. I want Outfitted and Ghost Hunter, was it? Is it those two? Do we immediately get the both that we want?
Yes.
Yeah, Ghost Hunter. Perfect. All right. That army is nearly ready to go. So let's praise just double checking these guys as well, but no, it's not what we want. Ooh, we do want the engineers. Anything nice here? Not really. The engineers have some kind of garbage traits. I don't think we have a single one with a good trait. The ballistics plating is the only decent one, and then even that, it's kind of meh. It doesn't do anything for the army. Kind of surprising. But anyway, I'm just looking if there's anywhere where we can more closely, but it doesn't look like it, summon a witch hunter. Ooh, you can go back into Council of Burgomeisters now. We really need to stop recruiting massive amounts of stuff every single turn, but it is what it is. And because we really need to invest in stuff in order to get steam tanks and land ships, but, well, soon the armies that we're currently constructing will be ready, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, there we go. 4 witch hunters, and their 4 witch hunters retinues for Stefan von Kessel and the Knights of the Everlasting Light. Makes sense for an Ostermarker army. And that'll put us to 13, 14 with a warrior priest, 15 with a mage, and then, assuming that we don't bother with Cav, as in more Cav, as in more Knights of the Everlasting Light, we'll see, we'll have a little bit of room for some Sigmarite warriors, Sigmarite disciples, whatever. Which would also make sense here, together with the witch hunters and stuff. Or, again, these guys are Ostermarkers, so it would also make sense to have them have Kislevite units, and because of their proximity to Kislev. I'll think about it. That could be... there's historical precedent and stuff for that as well. Anyway, do I know fantasy history better than real history? Anyway, what else did I want to do? Alright, you know what? Perhaps it's time to start... Ooh! South Bank is nearly at tier 5. Beautiful. That's the Imperial Palace. We'll have to make sure that we save enough money to get that up and running. Speaking of getting things up and running, Master Engineer, let's get the methodical one in. Alright, and there have been a bunch of comments requesting it, but I think it's finally time to get him on the field. Land Admiral Dintla. Alright, for those unaware coming from the previous Karl campaign, Land Admiral Tintla is another one of our community canon lords. And I guess story time for who he is and how he got where he is and what the heck a Land Admiral is as well. So you may be aware that there are Zintla's Reichsguard, led by the famed Reichskaptain Zintla. Well, there are other scions of that family, including this Land Admiral here. So Land Admiral or Grand Admiral and Zintler was essentially drummed out of the Imperial Navy as he was obsessed with putting bigger and more dangerous experimental guns, sort of like the siege guns like Queen Bess, on Imperial ships under his command, basically endangering the crews and horrifying Dwarfen, or the saner Dwarfen engineers and Imperial engineers alike. However, being related to that famous Reichskaptain Zintler of Zintler's Reichsguard, it would cost pretty much too much political capital to simply remove the guy from his post. So the higher-ups sent the now not-so-Grand Admiral to the rear echelons of the First Fleet, which are basically the oldest fleet in the Empire, which essentially patrol the rivers rather than the coasts. Anyway, the idea was that they gave him a naval fortress on the River Reich, and then he'd sit there. Due to his noble status, they allowed him to retain all his authority as an admiral, but forbade any quote-unquote ocean-going vessel from being under his command. Now, obviously, they assumed he'd quietly live out his days in relative luxury without exploding any more Imperial assets. Unfortunately, he was completely undeterred, and the now infamous Land Admiral Zintla and his experimental land ships, along with their shell-shocked crews of sappers, arsonists, and eccentrics, have become a scourge of billowing smokestacks and screaming ordnance. Interestingly, because he is technically an admiral, most commanders of the Imperial Army, other than Karl the Emperor and pretty much the second in command, Kurt Helborg, would have no direct authority over a Land Admiral Zintla, which means he has basically free reign to join battles and conduct his experiments in anything but peace. Basically, he's got the same kind of sort of leeway in terms of others having authority over him as an order of knights would, where they can choose to join up with, elector counts and whatnot, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, that's his story. He'll be on the field soon, and he'll be our war machine army, which in this particular case will mean landships, steam tanks, gyrocopters, and of course war wagons. Those are the ones we're going to start with, because it's going to take a while until we get sufficient steam tanks up and running, but we can get at least a few of those other things. Yeah. Alright, we'll start recruiting them in a bit. I just wanted to get him up and running. Anyway, let's get back to doing things in order, shall we? Boris Broch, you are delivering the steam tank, and... Oh, you're actually quite close. Okay, good for you. Let's move. This guy really needs the steam tanks as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't buff them in terms of their reach, but... Oh, huh. Out of curiosity... Maybe this guy could use the steam tank more than this army could. You know what? Stay there. I'm going to think about that one. Again, we really need capacities, but we need to invest in the economy rather than building armies to do that, and that's going to be a bit. Anyway, Waldemar, I'm willing to bet that if you were to attack this guy, he'd run, so I'm going to put you right beside him, and we'll see how he reacts next turn, and then otherwise get ready to move towards Grungzint. Would we suffer attrition here? Ooh, actually, if we ignore him completely, we can march stance and probably hit Grungzint next turn.
By Sigmar's right.
I think that'll be the better pick, or the better option here. Alright, get ready for that. Nice. Who's up next? Theodric von Blutten. You... Wait. Okay, we moved you this turn, and now von Blutten, we are probably going to need to send at least somebody up here to deal with the... orcs and... Oh, there's the Skaven as well. I mean, I guess Gavin would be helpful out there as well. There's a lot of enemies out here, unfortunately. I mean, we could send both of them around here for now and then deal with it as we, as we can. Let's maybe swap some units around between von Blutten and Leitdorf, though. Do we need an artillery piece in this army? I mean, I guess we have the mortar war wagons which serve that particular purpose. I don't necessarily think we need the cav. We could maybe swap one of these into a mortar war wagon once it levels up enough, and that will be sufficient artillery. Maybe. Yeah, alright, I like that idea. Let's do this then. You are going to... Okay, how far can you travel? Can we meet up at Lichburg? Yes. Lichburg, yeah, alright, let's move you both here. Like so. Oh, there is still corruption here, but it is what it is. You can move in here. Wow, that basically takes all of your movement range, but it is what it is once again. Oh, you had the -20 corruption, so you were probably better off in Tempelhof. Alright, we'll put you back there, Leitdorf, in a bit. Let's trade these 2 war wagons for this, and then we'll upgrade them to mortars so that they can sort of keep pace with the army. Obviously, we need a couple of Empire captains and some other stuff to make this into a proper force, and whatever other things we decide to put in here. But for now, it'll be good. Alrighty. And then you guys have done your moves. Who's up next? Emil von Corden, you are waiting for the turn, aren't you? Alright. Just wait for the turn, then. Leopold von Bildhofen, you will need 2 more of the things in the woods. Do we have the capacity for it? Okay, not from the Ice Court, but from the Orthodoxy. I think they're pretty cheap, 19, and can't build both at once, so I guess you can just wait. You can't build anything else either, though we will probably want to build the Shrine of Ulrich, or Chapel of Ulrich here. pretty much immediately. Alright, Recruiter Albrecht, you've got to wait until you can recruit more stuff, though the grenades, including the Nangao Grenadiers, are certainly on the way. Ah, yes, okay, you guys. Gustav and Ralph. Okay, so I would like you to deliver these guys, and then you... Would it be faster to go by land or to hit the coastline like this? Probably would be faster to go like this for Karl, eh? Alright, let's do this. You go here. And then you, all the way out here. Deliver the Nordland Mariners and the other unit of ogres to Jürgen Wagner. Alright, that looks pretty okay, and we're on the way to dueling Throg and Scarbrand. Once again, I wish they hadn't defeated Azag's main stack, but I don't think we're going to wait around with Karl. It's not like he really needs the defeat traits, even if it is a decent one, with resistances. Leopold, Recruiter, you're good. Gelty. Alright, so you were going to hit Hanging Rock. We moved the Tech Thieves, and so we should move to it now. What do we have in terms of defenses here? Oh, they're not bad. Would the enemy be willing to sally out and attack us? Well, give them the opportunity. Okay, it's doing that thing again. Okay, we'll give them a chance to sally out and attack Gelt in the field. We'll see whether they do. I actually prefer to take Bog Creeper Camp for ourselves. Can we then trade the Elves a territory? Oh, we can trade them Broken Tooth Camp if we take it. For Bog Creeper Camp. Why do we want Bog Creeper Camp? So that we can maintain this territory? Mostly because I just want to keep the... I want to keep the Putrid Tar Pits because of the petroleum, since it's a super rare resource. And it's good for us, as we've seen before. Anyway, Richter von Wolfen, I think you're kind of stuck where you are. You're going to disappear shortly, but just stay there until you do. Recruiter Beckberg, not recruiting for now because we need the money. Friendly, you're in the same situation. Gustav Hall, you're waiting to see what Umag does. And Baldric Strom, you're waiting. Stefan von Kessel, you're waiting as well. Just keep channeling, and, you know, I guess you can have your other Witch Hunter.
It shall be done. Keen sight.
There you go. Alright, oh, these are the two different types, aren't they? It doesn't really matter, whatever, I don't care. Alrighty, who else we've got? That was Stefan von Kessel. Yeah, okay, we checked you. Troop train. You were going to deliver to these guys some artillery pieces, so go there. Tech Thief. Oh, I thought I had moved the Tech Thieves this turn, but apparently that was last turn. Either that or I'm dumb. I guess they're not mutually exclusive. Steel Tech. Watchman, magic item drop chance, I like it. And that puts you up to rank 15, which does something. Hero action success chance increase, good. And then I believe there's another one. You are not rank 10 yet though, so just keep on stealing and trying not to fail. Success, good for you, sir. And you're rank 10 now, meaning Steel Tech, and then wait until Lord's Counselor, though I guess that's at rank 12, meaning we can start moving through Studious Pupil. And I always forget which one of these we want to do. I think it's Untapped Potential. Alright. That looks good to me. Next up, Steel Tech, or Steel Tech, Pick Tech. It's kind of similar, to some degree. It's half the same, in terms of having the word tech in it. Blinkers, Endurance Training, those are all great, but it's probably not worth spending the 11 turns going through all the way to Inner Circle. We do have a decent amount of knights, but not the same amount of cab that we otherwise would have. Let's do Ordnance Canisters, because it only takes the one turn. And Upkeep Reduction for Artillery is fine, but I'm going to say move straight into Firing Drills. Combustion Agent would also be really nice, but I think that the Rifled Barrels is probably the better of those technologies, I mean. We're using more infantry, missile troops than we are artillery at this point. And so they should deserve the upgrades. Alright, believe that's it for this turn. So let's do building. I know we'd like to recruit some stuff, but I'd like to continue investing in our economy and such. Okay, not you, though, because 14,000 is not something I'm willing to pay at this time. You're fine as you are, at least for now. Well, you know what, let's start getting the foundry up and running. We'll need it to get more land ships. You will want to be upgraded barracks. We would want more tap rooms here eventually, but for now we can ignore them. Yes, we will want to upgrade you too, but I want to double check if there's more money-making buildings that we can upgrade first. And we gotta remember, we gotta save enough money to build up the Imperial Palace next turn, which means we shouldn't use all of our money right now. Wissenberg, yes to your upgrade, though. That's an obvious one. And yes to the Cattle Ranch. The rest of this looks good. We do want to delete the barracks out of Averheim, but I want to wait until the other barracks are completed, because we want capacities. This... Ooh, wait. Hochland, you want to upgrade straight to the Knights of the White Wolf and Swords of Ulrich, don't you? 3.8k. It's expensive, but it is what it is. Let's also upgrade the town here, and I think the rest of this is... Okay, well, then we'll want to upgrade the money thing at Ubersreich. No upgrades to be had here at Middenheim, at least not now. And okay, yes to the money upgrades, and yes to the minor settlements. Okay, we're just going to have to find some money in order to build the Imperial Palace. And because that, there goes all the... Oh, no, actually I'm not building it here because you are in the wrong commandment. And I think there's at least one other place that was still in the wrong commandment. Oh! This place. Wait. Then Altar of Ulrich and the town. You are no longer impregnated, meaning we can switch you to cancel Burgomeisters and build this up next turn, or the Imperial Palace, whichever is first. Skip. Commandment available. Not skip. Castle Drakenhof immediately starts at tier 4. I forgot to see what else we've got here. Well, we can upgrade the Clothiers next turn. Keep the tavern for now. Hey, you got a tier 3 Wizards campus, and the toll gates are there. We probably still want the Weaving House. We will definitely want a Temple of Sigmar here because it feels appropriate. And I don't think we need the barracks here. Well, keep the livery for now. No, you know what? Delete the landed estate, I guess? I don't dislike the idea of the additional growth, but we need to build other stuff like the foundry and stuff. In fact, wait, let me just see here. We got 3 spaces to spare. One will go to the foundry for obvious reasons. And then we can't build both temples, so that's fine. Oh, we can actually keep the barracks. This would possibly be a decent military province then. And these things don't stack, right? So we can build one of these in Lichburg, meaning the only thing we'd be short of would be the gunnery school. One, and then we probably won't actually need the tavern eventually because the public order will essentially fix itself. So assuming that... Okay, you know what? Keep the barracks. Assuming that this gets replaced by the foundry, or the Engineers Guild Hall, we can put the gunnery school here, and then we'll be good. I like it. I like it a lot. We could also obviously build the training barracks, but I just don't really see the need. Alright, I'm happy with that then. Already getting use out of Sylvania, especially since this is sort of on this side of the map, and we'll need to be able to construct stuff there. Outpost upgrade available. We're okay with the Cathans for now. We are in military alliance with you straight up, yes? Yes, okay. Yeah, we went for military alliance with all the Cathan factions because we really want them to... well, we want so many Cathan units. And then turn. Aye, they will sally out and attack Gelt. I'm pretty happy about that. I was worried that we wouldn't get, or they wouldn't be brave enough to attempt it, but they are. Before we start, engagement threshold reached. Hour-long, hour-adjacent, longer episode this time around. 400 likes, 60 comments. The next episode will be the same. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Nice orky idol that we've got here. Huh, it has glow inside its eyes, but there's no light source. Interesting. Anyway, Gelt's gonna move on in and gonna start casting, as one does. Gehenna's Golden Hounds in the middle of the biggest blob of enemies he can find, and a final transmutation on top of the Savage Orc Great Shaman, which I'm sure will do decent damage. Looks like Gork, or possibly Mork himself, is protecting the enemy army as the idol will block out plenty of shots. Fortunately for us, however, we got plenty more artillery, or plenty more rockets where that came from, and the enemy is going to have to travel a long way to get to us. You gotta love rocket batteries. They always do feel a little bit too strong against the AI, but they're just so fun to watch, so... I can't help but always want to build them and try to hold myself back. Anyway, we've got them essentially protected by our piles of pikes and silver and guard, and the enemy still has a long way to go to get towards us, so I'm just gonna keep on firing on them. And that includes the enemy boar boys as well. Pretty much everything, really. And the AI, as usual, once again does have this tendency to attempt to not block, but to dodge those shots. And while it does work reasonably well at dodging some of the shots, the issue is that it forces the enemy units to move back instead of forward. So it takes basically twice as long for the enemy army to actually move towards us, which ain't so great, especially when you have 5 rocket batteries firing away at you at once. But this is the only army where we'll build this many rocket batteries. Frankly, I mean, technically it's the only army that we have with rocket batteries other than Elspeth's, so yeah, and Elspeth only has 2. And isn't really relying on them in the same manner. But at least this way, at least something can fire and do work and not just Gelt in this particular army. Especially once we get Gelt a couple of Gold Wizard apprentices to help out and drop even more Gehenna's Golden Hands on the enemy. Anyway, speaking of the enemy Lord is just about done for. The final transmutation got him to about 20% of his HP, and now Gelt himself, or possibly his Empire Captain, will make sure to assassinate said enemy Lord. Let's see if any of the enemy units actually manage to reach us on top of this lovely hill position that we've got. Ooh, nice little volley of rockets into the trolls. They won't take much damage, as that's kind of a not a great matchup for the rockets. But on the other hand, depends on how many rockets you have. Even a little tiny trickle of damage will be a lot of damage with sufficient or judicious application of rocketry, as I'm sure that light college acolyte, that light wizard, learned when he was trying to interfere with Gelt's quest for the Staff of Volans. Anyway, it does look like at least a few enemy infantry are closing the distance, all the while attempting to still dodge the rockets. But they might make it their way forward towards the Silveran Guard, who are ready to meet them. And the arrows come down on the Elves, but these guys are pretty solid and resistant to it. 130 armor, 58 melee defense, 25 physical, and 10% missile. Enemies still milling around, even our Empire spearmen taunting them, flashing spears against shields and yelling at the orcs, daring them to charge their spear line. And especially with the staunch elven spears and the sort of at the tip of the spear, as it were, tip of the formation. Gotta have some confidence in their units. There we go. It does look like some black orcs will in fact reach the Silveran Guard, and that's not a great matchup, admittedly, for the Silveran Guard, but A, it will take the enemy a while to deal with them, and B, we can help them out a little bit with that Plague of Rust upgraded, dropping the Black Orcs armor to a mere 29, and considering that Black Orcs have relatively low melee defense, this is going to be pretty troublesome for them. It does look like other units have reached our right flank as well. Unit of trolls, we got some biggins, and I think there are a couple of units of boar boys and spiders around here as well, but those guys we have moved to meet with our Knights of the Black Rose. Again, the Knights of the Black Rose aren't staying in this army. We're going to replace them with the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Mostly because there's no gold at all on these guys. And I don't want this army to be too close to Elspeth's, even though this one obviously doesn't have any melee or range troops, but nonetheless. Alright, fight for our right to live, fight for our right to blast people with rockets. It's an equally important right. Anyway, since the enemy shaman, Great Shaman, is done for, Gelt has moved down, as well as his Empire Captain, to deal with the enemy Black Orc big bosses. It's gonna take a while. Gelt isn't the strongest melee fighter, but the armor corrosion does help weaken the Black Orc big boss a little bit. Assuming that it actually applies to him. Not that it matters over much, I believe, because it looks like there weren't too many enemies left to attempt this fight, and with them having failed to reach our flanks or breach the Knights of the Black Rose there, the battle is ours. Now, the big benefit of using Knights of the Black Rose as a knight company is the fact that they have the Iron Resolve capability, meaning that they cannot die unless their hit points drop below 50%, which is really, really nice, meaning that they'll recover all their HP, even if they drop down to 51% post-battle, since all of their units remain alive. So, yeah. But nonetheless, I do want various different kinds of knights and whatnots everywhere in every army. And I think Gelt is going for a particular color theme here, so we're definitely going to stick with that. Anyway, gonna get a few more rocket blasts into the enemy as they run, but otherwise the battle is ours. All right, there we go. Very nice work. We took a comparatively minimal damage, 34 losses, I think, mostly from a friendly fire incident from one of our rocket batteries, 60,000, 40,000, and just generally solid damage out of all of them against a single orky stack, especially with Guild providing magical support when getting 69,000 damage. Nice. The enemy had no chance. We are going to... Oh, wow, basically no money. All right, well, fine. Praise Sigmar. Alright, Supervisor, Seasoned Campaigner for Guild Constructor for Wolford Creator, Seafarer. Ally begins construction, ally mission successful, and enemy killed in battle. Another Razor Standard, another Trickster Shard. Huh, where are you going? We'll see. Spell Shield, Mace of Hellstorm. Magical attacks, melee defense, flaming attacks. Huh, that's not bad. We can use these for Myrmidia's army, most likely. Ready for duty, Kurt Zek, but mostly there to deliver stuff, and the mightiest frustrations. Oh, that's why we got so many items. I was wondering. That means Tier 5 is ready, and that means... Okay, Boris Broch... aren't you just a deliverer? Okay, I'll deal with you in a second. Baldric... Okay, everybody's getting horses. Yes, Imperial Palace. That's the main thing that we want immediately, which will give us the ability to build the Altdorf Company of Honor. That's going to be a question as to where we want to put that. It's got some very nice, in fact, area buffs. I think that'll be a good combination with Eldred's Guard. I did once again want to make a solid sort of pikes and or spears and halberds army. And this is certainly something that will potentially work nicely with that. But anyway, and we'll also be able to upgrade the Altdorf Colleges of Magic to max, which is also nice. Alright, fine, start with that. We don't have a weaving house in Altdorf, but that will... Okay, let me just see here. Build the Imperial Palace. It's going to take 6 turns. We'll actually want to swap out the tap room then, and then delete that, which will give us the ability to build the Temple of Sigmar. We got to get the Grand Temple of Sigmar in here. We already have the Gunnery School in the city north, assuming that we don't delete the barracks. Do we not build the Tailor's Guild then? I'll think about it. We don't have a lot of space for a lot of extra stuff. Maybe we just forego the Tailor's Guild. It's already generating fairly decent amounts of cash. I mean, this province in general. It's not our biggest money-making province, though perhaps at least in part because we don't have that Tailor's Guild. Oh, Bogrub, you little coward. You left this location. How dare you. Hopefully he doesn't get replaced by Azag, as that's what we would have wanted. That is what it is. Karl, you're going to take this place. On resolve for obvious reasons. And occupy. I'm going to need this to trade to our Kislevite friends. Delete this, and then we'll replace it with military structures. Student for you. Okay, I wanted to move you to Karl, but now we need to move in such a way where you hopefully don't get caught by the orcs. So try to move this way. And deliver those Teutogan Guard in place of a couple of the Imperial Foot, and that will effectively complete Karl's army. Minus the levels and all that sort of stuff, but still good. Alrighty, now I saw that we were given the option to intercept, and... what an annoying way to do this. Alright, fine. What we'll do is this. You are going to move here in non-march stance. You are going to attack him here. He's going to back across the river. Indeed he is. Then... we will kill you in a second. I would also like you to join war against... what are these guys called? I guess the only rogue army, so it's Beast Catches. 2.9. Well, I don't want to waste the military alliance. Okay, fine. Let's see. Lubrecht, how much? Oh, you're not able to trade it until we confederate Ostland, are you? Alright, fine. Damn you. Alrighty, we'll deal with that in a second. I also want to check confederations, but no, neither one of our others want to confederate, but that's fine. You're going to kill this then. In Trench's stance. You're going to kill us now. This is going to damage us, but we should be able to heal. I'm going to hope it's fine. Wait. Quick save. I don't trust it. There's a bug where war wagons can get killed.
We test our metal against them.
Okay, no, they didn't get killed, but we'll take the heals. Alright, then... Enemy killed in battle. You didn't cross the river, correct? Okay, so go here. You go right beside this guy. Then Pigeon Plucker Pendant for Dolph. No, you don't need that. It will be useful in an army, but not this army. Mechanical Steed, good. You will now attack this. What? Oh, not Dolph. You will attack this, rather. Oh, I accidentally moved with Dolph, meaning that killed his movement range, didn't it? Or... No, it didn't. Okay, he's fine. Never mind. Nobody panic. You will then attack. And then we'll quick save, because again, I don't trust the auto-resolve, even against this minor, if we can call it an army. Huh, interesting that it kills the Outriders, but doesn't kill the Pistoliers. And there we go. There was no need to fight those guys again, they were too weak. Alright, beautiful. Then you can go into March Stance, and you can't quite cross the river, can you? Alright, I guess you're gonna have to cross it next turn, that's fine. To deliver those guys, while Dolph can go into encamp and stay right here in friendly territory, get ready to proceed to Fort Jakova, which will be another trade to the to these guys, hopefully for Wyla. Yes. Alright, good. And then we'll probably have you put around the Red Eye territory anyway, because we need to deal with them. Somebody needs to. Can't be leaving our allies to do it. Alright, now, Gavin von Wolfen and... Okay, first of all, get the heck out of our territory. How many turns until we can redeclare war on you? 8 turns. Okay, well, we'll just shadow you, essentially. The Changeling has again disappeared. Can we see his stack anywhere? This is a battle site. Unfortunately, I don't see it. No, Grimgore's going this way. Alright, Elspeth, since we can't get the Changeling right now, I would like you to proceed here. Get ready to attack Grimgore. And if we find the Changeling, we find the Changeling. And if we don't find the Changeling, well... anyway, this guy still needs to be dealt with, which means I think Gavin... You're going to move southward to try to deal with him. March Stance, I really... Man, can't believe there's no bridge here. There's no easy way to go from the old riding to the haunted hills. But anyway, go here. And then you'll try to help Oakenhammer with the Vermich, and generally speaking against the Skaven. And if you travel through their territory, you might be able to move southward into these guys' territories as well. Then... I'm going to say keep von... Well,
I will marshal the men.
We'll put Mr. Lightdorf here for now, because he has a massive amount of anti-corruption. Okay, fine, in March Stance. Put him in Castle Tempelhof. And then von Blutten, you have an army. I would like you to start essentially moving this way. Maybe in March Stance. Start moving. I'm hoping that we can find the Changeling again, but, you know, for now. You can probably actually deliver these crossbows to Lightdorf. He can hold on to them with the other stuff that he's holding on to, so do this. At least this way we won't have you running around being, you know, wasting our time. Alright. Oh, right, I forgot about the... Damn, I forgot about the frickin'... Yeah, okay. I guess we can send Lightdorf to do it. Was what I was expecting. Or we could send Wolfric Giga to do it, because he has Dwarfen Plate Armor, which is a decent trait, and... we could level him up that way. Alright, fine. Don't delete him yet. Somebody will be able to deal with this, I'm sure. As long as I don't forget for, like, a second or third or fourth time. Alrighty, how are we doing out here? Waldemar Biber, you are going to... attack these guys. So they are at war currently with Vesterland and Kuhan and Carrick Ziflin. None of that helps us, so we're just going to straight up declare. Well, I guess we can ask for money. Join war against Skull Smashes for money. Not much money, but better than nothing. Yeah, alright. Trade. Attack. And I wonder if their main stack is out here in Oak of Prophecy. Or whether it got destroyed by something. I suppose it doesn't matter much, because you're going to Grungzint. And you'll besiege it, because like the other army, I'm willing to bet that they will be willing to sally out. So just in case, build siege equipment. And let's also build... Okay, so we were looking... Do we have any rank 7s? We do not, so nobody would benefit from it. Let's then get Mighty Forge. which is for eventual steam tanks and also for the war wagons, eh? Yeah, fine. Mighty Forge, Emperor's Finest, and that looks good to me. You, Empire Captain. You've gone through Officer's Squad. I would like you to get a Steamed Combatant because it buffs us when we're defending, and then start moving through towards killing below. You, Engineer. You are not ready yet for Master of Ballistics, but you can still grab the increased mobility for when we're... Yeah, you know what? No, don't do it. Never mind. We'll want them all into triangulation in order to dish out more damage. You, Humphrey Brookert, you're going this way. You can ford the river, and you can do the same and deliver that tank. You've been walking around with that tank for ages now. Well, I was originally going to go to Karl, but then, you know, I realized that A, he doesn't really need it, and B, he has no room for it, because I like the way that his army currently is. You will grab mushrooms too. Hey, another Curse of Cannibalism. We have now 17 turns on that. That's pretty good. I guess keep going around here. I'd like to grab a few more islands while we sort of make up the... Ooh, wait. Go here. Sort of make up the rest of the missing units in this army, essentially. And I'm willing to bet that there's at least a few more islands to pick up. One materials at sea. One additional materials at sea is all we need. And that'll fix our economy for the rest of the campaign, most likely. Or at the very least, allow it to snowball enough for the rest of the campaign. What else was I gonna do? Oh, right, Slayer Pirates. We need you to have some Slayer Pirates. Can we recruit Slayer Pirates? Out of curiosity. Karekadrin. What do you mean we can't recruit Slayers out of Karekadrin? Game? Are you... Where, what? Oh, right, because I didn't build the outpost in Karekadrin itself. I built it here somewhere. Alright, 2 more turns then. Alright, that's why that's being upgraded. Ah, okay, yeah. Damn you, past Ruinous. But there must have been a reason for that, and I guess I will stand by it. Probably because it has more access to more different types of units, so, you know, fair enough. You guys, alright, so... Pistoliers. Okay, let's do this. You will deliver the Pistoliers and the Demigriffs to... grab the Knights of the Blaze. Well, nah, probably not. Wait. Do that. Yes. And then deliver these guys to Emil von Corden. Like so. Alright, now you're only missing, let's see, we got 15 out of 20. We should probably do one more Pistolier. 15 out of 20. 16, 17 would be the 2 Empire Captains. 18 would be the Mage, and then we could just fill it up with Pistoliers to chase stuff down. Or generally speaking, annoy the enemy while these guys do most of the fighting. Alright, of course we will also then need Wizard capacity, which I believe we still don't have. Not the Priest capacity. Anyway, I got another champion, that's what we want. Still don't care for any of these guys. Maybe the Clockwork Spyglass will at least enable you to do additional damage. Wizards! 9 out of 14. Never mind. We do have wizard capacity. Do we want to wait for the Altdorf Colleges of Magic? In 3 turns, it'll enable us to get to +4 recruit rank. Yeah, if we can spend 3 turns to save 4 ranks. Will this also increase their ranks? Here, recruit rank +2 faction-wide, as opposed to none. Fine. Alright, if we're going to start pumping out wizards, because of all the different lores, we may as well have them leveled at a higher level. Philip Ivan the Crazy, here to deliver the Outriders to the Grenadiers. So go this way. Alrighty, and then we need one more Empire Captain capacity / champion, which we're working on. You guys, alright. Still got stuff to do with you. Baldric Stroam, you... Okay, wait, maybe we'll use Von Kessel to transfer so that Aldebrand doesn't need to move and keep recruiting, since that's his job right now. I might have to do another recount of the troop types that we want, but I don't want more than 4 Wolfkin in this army, because we'll have plenty more Wolfkin in the in Boris's army, but this also makes sense for the woods. I mean, yeah, they're like... Alrighty, so, assuming that we'll probably want to replace one of the Huntsmen with the Gunderman's Surefires. This will not leave us room for putting Wood Elves in here, though. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, we could always put Wood Elves in another army. Sort of a life lore sort of army. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Hawklander army. And admittedly, there are other sort of woodland-focused factions. In a way, almost every Empire province is in some way related to woodlands. Will we want a warrior priest in here? Maybe. The Empire captain probably has more value, although I'm not so sure that the officer... Well, actually, the additional armor for all of these guys could be pretty nice. Also, you... We're waiting to get you Circle of Protection, which buffs the Wolfkin, and Experienced Hunter, which buffs the Huntsman. But we will want you to have Pistol Core either way. And probably eventually on a steel for the Wolfkin. Yeah, alright. Well, we'll start with Pistol Core. Do we want to get you moving, is the question, I guess, without completing the army. I mean, I guess we could start your way down south. We'll probably need, like... I don't know, like 6 armies to deal with all of this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So we'll need a lot of armies down there. Alright, I think that's probably appropriate for you. Minus the missing Gunderman Surefires and the missing Wizard, which we will get you later. But for now, start moving. Yeah, go for it. Alright, and then Troop Train, you might transfer stuff to Kessel, you might transfer stuff to Ludenhof, we shall see. Speaking of, I would like to build one more Pistolier for Mr. Gosser. Wait, who's suffering attrition here? Oh, you're gonna go back here. Keep hold of these troops for now. Actually, -1 situation. You have Crowfeeder because you're the Nordland... Yeah, okay, you know what, let's... Nordland. Strider. Yeah, I'm gonna say we're going to kick you out of this position. Wait. If you kick out the position, do the Mariners reset? I guess this is an interesting time to find out. Let's find out. Alright, so you're at 6 points, or 6 turns. If we put Mr. Jürgen Wagner into the same position... If I can find him in here. Oh, he's right there. You have to kick him out first? I'm concerned about that. What about if we put him here? No. Damn. Gasso has a useless trait, and, I mean, he's just not really doing anything right now, so, yeah. I mean, not a useless trait, but a governor sort of trait, which means it would be a waste to give him Strider and whatever other buffs. Well, I'm just going to hope that this doesn't reset the time on the Nordland Mariners, although... Wait, let me just see something. We could always wait until it happens. We got 8 turns until requisition anyway. Ooh, and if it resets it, it'll screw that one over, won't it? Alright, you know what? Maybe we'll wait until we're ready then. That's fine. Alright, let's get back to doing things in order. Governor doesn't need to move. You're nearly rank 15, so it's good for you. Emil von Corden, you've got to wait a little bit longer, but you're nearly there, sir. Theodric Gosser, I just checked you out. Leopold von Bildhofen, you are waiting for more troops of various types. Did I upgrade the temple? No, I did not. I was going to swap out to doing it this turn, because at that time we didn't have the Council of Burgomeisters. So go for town. Frankly, we don't need the Shrine of Sigmar here, but we might need another couple of warrior priests in several locations, so we'll keep on doing that. I forgot to start recruiting with you, so let's go for the Pistoliers, and then we'll start building the Wolfkin for Boris's army. Alright, working on it. Lovely. Recruiter Albrecht, you are fine as you are until we have the gunnery army, or the grenadier army ready to go. Gelty, you are going to pick up the Hanging Rock with an auto-resolve since you've already defeated most of them. And basically no damage. Lovely, occupy. We occupied at tier 3, was it? Yeah, alright, this should be worth a decent amount to the whoever we traded to, presumably the dwarfs. Me killed in battle, and then we can move the Tech Thief down to... Well, I guess free levels at a Bog Creeper camp. We have 5 turns available, so it won't reduce that. And we'll want to take it for ourselves, though if we want to trade this to Techless... How many territories do these guys have? 1 territory, so we will want to wipe them out. Nonetheless, you go down to Bog Creeper camp. I want to see if it's full of rats. I'm pretty sure it is, but I want to double check. Though if we declare war on them, we'll effectively have to commit to wiping them out rather than moving north, which I'm not super fond of. Oh, but there is an army here. Gelt reach it in one go? Well, it doesn't look like it, but I'll keep an eye on that anyway. Anyway, let's actually move the Tech Thieves first, as well as these guys who are supposed to go to Von Kessel. Alright, Tech Thief. Level 11. 1 more until level 12, assuming you don't fail here. Failure, but... well, last failure. There we go. Lord's Counselor plus 15, you'll be fine now. Of course, he had to fail one last time. He had to disappoint me one last time. You're good, but grab the improved scrying techniques and then steel tech. 100%, that's beautiful. Alrighty, and another tech thief. You are also... Okay, you're not maxed out on these yet. Go for arcane focus, sorcerer shielding, who cares. Alright, and then one more tech thievery from you. Lovely, and you got a student. And you leveled up, meaning we can also get more hero success chance. Fantastic. Alright, what are we at now? Still 320. Yeah, we'll need more tech thieves for that, but we need wizards in armies. So many of ours don't have them right now. Zintla, you are going to wait. We have enough armies right now. We need to wait a little bit before we start recruiting more, or we won't be able to invest in the economy enough, and we need to do that. Until Clan Ferric is gone, you guys are going to sit here, though. Recruiter Leopold already checked you, and I think we're done this turn. I don't believe we're besieging anything. So I think we're ready to end it. Skip, 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 skip. Minus the building, but anyway. Outpost available, outpost upgrade available, and wait a moment. I just want to see something, not the Continental Exarchate, but the Western Province is 16. Okay, not enough. Alright. We'll build stuff next turn. It's all good. Alright, they will indeed sally out against our Hellblaster heavy army, and well, I guess this is just generally the artillery army, because obviously we got the war wagons. These are powered up war wagons by a fairly considerable amount. Their reload time significantly reduced by this guy. It's just that the Hellblasters are not, because they have, as I said, I think it was last episode, the minimum amount of reload anyway, which means we might transfer them to a different army and replace them with cannons and whatever else. It's also potential. I would assume that the buff doesn't only apply to Imperial artillery, so we could always potentially put other artillery in here, like organ guns and stuff, though they will always be inferior to Hellblasters. Anyway, it should be a fun fight, go. Alrighty, here we go. The first sort of proper battle for Waldemar's artillery, and ooh, the Grundle's defenders do look pretty good. I like their look. I just want to compare them briefly to the regular spears. What's different about them? They got a little bit more gold on their plates. They do seem to have pauldrons, which the regular spears lack. They just have the sort of cuirass and no pauldrons to it. Yeah, it's a big difference. Now, of course, wait, they've got plumes on their helmets as well, which the regular spears... Well, no, actually they do. It's just that these guys' helmets are a little bit more involved, generally speaking. Yeah. A little fancier, blocking a little bit more of their face. Anyway, I like the unit is what I'm getting at, and I like their shields as well, including the Nuln on their shields, which makes sense since they're artillery defenders, and, well, we got plenty of artillery here for them to defend. We're going to start the battle off by taking a position with our army, moving a little bit forward so we can make use of the sort of palisades of this little camp here, which is impassable terrain, while our mortar wagons trundle on forward to begin firing at the enemy army and essentially just annoying them to move towards us. Mostly because the Hellblasters are a little bit too short range to reach the enemy army from where we were. Well, frankly, the mortar war wagons were as well, but at least these guys we can move forward. Oh, huh. I didn't know that the mortar war wagons, for some reason I had assumed that the mortar in there would be, you know, sort of disconnected from the wheels and just part of the war wagon. But interestingly enough, it's just a regular old mortar and just being carried in the war wagon. I kind of like that. Makes sense to me, and ooh, looks like we are going to get hit with a... Hey, how dare you? Gonna knock out one of the Hellblaster's volley guns. Not do a lot of damage, but it looks like the Gaze of Mork just had to impact on one of our artillery pieces, which allows it to bring it down. It's a solid use for the spell. I did lots of the same sort of thing in my Gorbad campaign, spamming that and knocking out enemy artillery pieces. as it's a very solid, very long-range magic missile that's particularly good at that sort of thing. Anyway, mortar shells continue screaming overhead and, well, touching down in the enemy ranks, but it looks like, let's see. Are they starting to get annoyed at last? Yes, they are, and this will mean that our Hellblasters will begin firing away with their crazy reload speeds. There we go, you gotta love these things. And they are devastatingly effective as well. No matter what they're going to be firing at, they're going to be doing a ton of damage. And of course the one that I was looking at is the one that's going to get blocked by that hill and then stopped firing. Alright, well at least the rest are firing. There we go. And of course we'll have some Hellblasters in some armies that are a little bit more mixed units, so that we have sort of range units and Hellblasters working together and all that stuff, but this is our artillery sort of army, since we have this one lord that buffs artillery in particular. Though again, it doesn't buff Hellblasters, which just bothers the heck out of me. But oh well, what can you do? We'll maybe swap it around, as I said. Anyway, the Black Orcs are moving towards us, but they're having a... well, they're going to be having a pretty bad time against the Hellblasters. One of them's down to about 30% of its HP. And even with the Hellblasters not being able to penetrate units all that far compared to, like, cannons, or more similarly compared to organ guns, they reload, they fire so quickly that it doesn't matter. They also launch, I guess, 9 projectiles with their 9 barrels firing, and that's a lot of high damage dealing projectiles coming in at the enemy. It does look like some enemy boar boys are going to move on both the left and right flank. We're going to sort of intercept them with the Empire Captain and the General of the Empire on both flanks. All the while we fire a little bit at these guys with one of our Hellblasters. And like I said, they're good at whatever you target, so they're going to do a number on these boar boys, who are down by about 50% of their HP already. Our unit of halberdiers, which is the single unit of halberdiers in this particular army, I don't know why I still have this in here, but just leave it. They're going to protect our right flank together with the Empire Captain. And, this one brave halberdier decided to join the captain in fighting sort of forward. There you go. Everybody join this guy. Alright, while the rest of the army continues to attempt to move towards us and is having a particularly bad time of it. Honestly, I'm surprised that the Hellblasters don't have shield breaker on them. You'd think that taking one of these on your shield would, you know, not be super pleasant. But I guess they're already so strong that there isn't any real need to add any kind of effect to them. And they're just so entertaining in terms of watching them fire. If only we could somehow get a Skaven ally and then use Rattling guns together with Hellblasters all at once. Wouldn't that be just lovely? It does look like some of the enemies are starting to make their way towards us, including the enemy Lord, but I think he's going to get ripped apart by the Hellblasters, and there's not much he can do. Over on the left flank, the Boar Boys have failed, having similarly been obliterated by the Hellblasters, but it does look like the Pikes are going to have to hold back some of those Night Gubs and some Orc Biggins. And perhaps some Black Orcs. Though the latter are going to get focused down by several Hellblasters at once, and it looks like very few of them will make it to our line intact. And of course, in the meantime, the enemy does have range units, and you can see the mortar shells coming down upon them in the background. The mortars are firing at the range units, so they can't fire back at us. Our general has landed upon the Biggins and the Night Gubs that have managed to reach our line. And it looks like they're going to flee in terror, though they did some damage to the spears. Again, these are basic spears. Their armor is pretty low as well in this army because we don't have, I guess, sufficient Empire Captain or Veterancy buffs. And it does look like our officer squad is also doing a little bit of work here. Got a little bit of work out of their arming swords, and now they'll be able to fire those repeater rifles into the enemy's backs as well. I wonder if the repeater rifles are rifled. Unlike Hawkland long rifles, or they're more similar to a repeater handgun. But anyway, I suppose it doesn't matter over much because it works well enough for our purposes at killing orc and gob alike. And with that, the enemy army shatters and the battle is ours. Well, I'm sure all the Hellblasters did very, very well. And while we do have a close victory, it's probably due to ammunition expenditure. Once again, I just got to get into the habit of actually using the ammunition recovery, even when it's not needed, as we still had plenty of ammunition, and just to screw with the enemy a little bit more. Alright, there we go. Beautiful. No problem at all for Waldemar here. And of course, the Hellblasters absolutely tore the enemy to shreds. They're a absolutely ridiculous artillery piece that can do everything well, whether it be sniping tiny single targets, gigantic single targets, cavalry, monsters, infantry, or whatever they please. Well done. And that's, again, without the buffs applying to them from the Lord. We'll deal with it later. For now, heal up. Well, I noticed that Karl Franz has been confederated now and is gone, and you're going to be annoying, aren't you? I wonder if you can actually reach Pradeshina, but maybe you can't. The question is, do we attempt to give chase to you with Karl? You know what? Karl, stay here for a turn. I want to see... it is annoying to have to stay here, but, well, we can take the opportunity to put these guys in here.
Get to it!
Why aren't you unable? Okay, wait. Federation, yeah, between Karl Franz and Krazkorak, you can... Okay. The Legion of Setup destroyed. Ooh, Grimgore. You be stuck at Fungzig. And Fungzig will be where you meet your end, at least the first time. And Elspeth can reach you, so sucks to be you, sir. Oh, there he is. Jerkface changeling. Who are you at war with? You're at war with Sturland. Well... And we can reach him with Von Blutten, but I'm willing to bet that Changeling will run. Or will he? Maybe not, because this is kind of one of our weaker, incomplete armies. Okay, we'll see about that in a second. Ogre Blade I don't really care for, but we'll hold on to it for now. Another Coachman for a Tech Thief. Yeah, you can hold on to that. Wafails, ready for duty. Toddbringer is back. Ready for duty will from Frankenwerter, Huntsman General. I don't remember which... level 16, fairly high. Okay, everybody's ready for duty, I get it. Savage Blow gives a charge bonus to everybody around, and Boris, you are going to go into... Wait, are you going to go into this army? Well, we need somebody still here to recruit stuff, like the Knights of the White Wolf. So while we can get Boris on field, it doesn't mean that we necessarily want him to recruit stuff, because I think he wouldn't have reductions for that. And he can't even get Warden of the Middle Mountains. Well, either way, we'll deal with it eventually. For now, you can have Inspiring Presence just to get a little bit of extra XP, and you can sit there while Leopold von Bildhofen will recruit for you. You're going to go into Route Marcher, Drill Instructor, and Statesman into Leader of Renown. Iron Disciplinarian, and Irrepressible, Quartermaster, doesn't matter, Lightning Strike, Headhunter. There we go. And, recruit rank for Artillery, no recruit ranks, no recruit ranks, recruit cost for Cavalry. So we could have Generals as a specialized Cavalry recruiters. Interesting, as opposed to, I wonder if Grandmasters can recruit cavalry cheaper. I do kind of like that their different lords will be, better at recruiting different things. Actually, speaking of different lords, we had a Grandmaster. No, we had an Arch-Lector. No, I guess we didn't delete him somewhere. There was a high-rank Arch-Lector somewhere running around. We'll deal with it. Oh, we got another ingenious one as well, which is also a good for recruiting. Alright. Well, Karl has reached rank 50, though, which is lovely. Might as well get him up to Fighting Standard. Blade Master into Wound Maker. Heroic Killing Blow. So he's 1,000 weapon strength and 98 melee attack prior to buffs, which is pretty good. 6 points remaining. We have all of the red line stuff. 6 points would allow us to get to Lightning Strike, but is there any time when Karl would care about fighting more than one army at once? I would imagine not. So I think I'd rather just give him more armor, more charge bonus, just make him insanely fighty. Give him Mark of Kish. Do we care about the 2 points in this to get to the attrition suffered reduction? I'm not sure that we do. We no longer will need Mighty Forge in here or Imperial Gunnery. And because he's mostly relying on steel, I guess plate armor is the way to go then. We get to get the second point in here, but character experience plus 100 per turn does nothing for us. A little bit of extra armor. It's just going to bother me that we have an extra point and there's nowhere to... Oh, tenacity. Oh, wow, it would have been bad to miss out on tenacity. Yes, full plate armor. Yeah, gotta pay attention. Oh, screwed that up. Lovely, and then these guys will level afterwards. All right, now, Tintla to Karl. Swap out the less leveled Imperial Foot. There we go. That completes the army. These will be delivered to Kurt Helborg for his Reiksguard army, since Karl is only got 3 Reiksguard. Technically, well, 5 if we count the Order of the Reich and the Königsguard. Yeah, Teutogen Guard. Nice. Heavy-hitting sort of great sword type unit. Technically a support unit, I guess, but nonetheless. I think it's a neat army. All right. Delf Hertvigens. And it's an army that will allow Karl to fight in the sense that it won't just be range units killing everybody at, like tanks, killing everybody at range. You, head to Fort Jakova. Or Yakova, whichever it may be. Alrighty, and then we'll auto-resolve... Okay, wait, we will move the Noble Sons Abroad in, because we might as well get them a little bit of extra XP. Can you go in regular stance? You can. Oh, maybe I should have used you to capture this. Whatever, too late. We might as well heal up here anyway. Take the few seconds extra and then lose these 2, and we'll deliver them somewhere else since they're higher rank. Alright, quick save, because again I don't trust the auto-resolve of this army. It doesn't like it because it thinks it's weak because it's a run-and-gun army. There's a tendency. But it's okay. Occupy. Lovely. Alright, don't collect the income. Wait, actually. Fort Yakova for Vila. Would you do it? Would you do it right now? Fort Yakova. Vila. 47. Okay, that's gonna be a no. Let's go for delete this and replace it with a military structure, and then hopefully we'll be able to do that at some point. Out of curiosity, how much is Pradeshnia worth to you? Well, it'll be worth more once we build a military structure, so let's do that. Because we need that, and we need Lubrecht, and that's going to take a bit. Alright, Governor Billings, still not rank 15, so we don't need to level you, Gavin von Wolfen. You were going to go... deal with Clan Ferric in order to help these guys, and then move southward to deal with the orcs as well. Assuming that you don't need to push towards Grimgore, but actually speaking of Grimgore, let's do Grimgore. Need to level you guys? Let's level you guys. Alright, so you have Triangulation maxed out. We want to keep getting you to hit even harder. I still might want to get a second one of these into Elspeth's army, but I'll think about it. Always ready for you, and... Under siege, under siege. I wish these were when defending, not when under siege. It would make them a lot more useful, because under siege is basically a completely useless trait thus. But oh well. I don't dislike the cost reduction, but again, Elspeth's probably rarely in territories where she can put it to decent use. Piercing shots, you don't need the ammunition, so Bandolier is kind of useless, because I don't think I've ever seen Gez run out. And then you, I still have not decided whether we're going for the officer squad or we're going to pop you onto a demigriff as a champion. I mean, you're still champion enough on the Pegasus without getting the additional traits, especially with this. So I don't really need the demigriff. But we do have 4 Knights of the Black Rose. So I'm still on the fence, so we'll ignore it for now. Foe Seeker, and we'll go for Blade Shield. Might as well get Deadly Onslaught. Still a fairly nice pickup. Let's start with Woundmaker again. Well, no, maybe Scarred Vet. For the situations where Elspeth isn't there to help you out. Admittedly, on the Demigriff, you will get more mileage out of the Everwood route. But I do like the ability to summon that officer squad because they fit nicely with the various iron sides. Oh, also... Alright, for those of you guys giving me names for mortars, I'm going to say mortar names and war wagon mortar names are interchangeable because we're rarely using mortars until we get Sutsun's guns and several armies specific to mortars, but we do have mortar war wagons, so more tarnishers, like so. Bells of the Empire. Well, actually, you know what? That feels like it's more well, it's a mobile bell. Yeah, sure. Bells of the Empire. Bells of the Empire. It's still a straight-up mortar in there after all. And Earthshakers. There we go. Especially considering these guys with their buffs are actually considerably stronger than regular mortars due to what Waldemar Biber does for them. Anyway, let's have you, while we're here, take Grungzint. No significant damage. Occupy it. And we'll be not collecting the income, we'll be building a military structure, and we'll be getting ready to trade that to the Bretonnians. Anyway, before I got distracted, I wanted Elspeth to hit Grimgore. So, Grimgore, you're currently at war with Karezakarek. Karezakarek, we will you're up to 7 territories, eh? Not bad. They've survived. Oh, they've taken Karakangazar. They've taken territories formerly belonging to Karakharn. I actually wanted Karakharn to die because we could trade their territories to the Bugman's Brewery. Maybe we'll send one of our armies this way to try to grab those before they run out. But anyway, we will join your war against Grimgore. 7.8's not bad. You're not giving us Tiratia, are you? 76. Wait. Is it Hanging Rock that we want to give to them, or is it... No, it's Scabby Eye Camp. Scabby Eye Camp for Staratia, maybe? Minus 40... Okay, whoa, what? Oh. Actually, Hanging Rock as well, but we might want to save it in case this guy captures a capital, or for Karakangazar, which I'm willing to bet he won't give it to us. Alright, fine. Swap this out then. Delete. Don't bother building this. We'll switch you to military structures and hopefully still be able to do that. And there's nothing else to trade, unfortunately, so meaning we'll just join the war without getting anything else out of it, but, you know, other than money, which is good, but not as good as territory that we don't want necessarily to swap out. Oh! There's a little stack here. Can you peace out? You cannot peace out. Okay, well, we're gonna lose Wissenheim. Granted, I'm frankly kind of surprised that we kept it as long as we did, but anyway. Oh, you can reach Bog Creeper's camp. Huh. That's probably fine, considering it looks like Teclis is going after a Broken Tooth camp. Alright, well, it looks like we've got fighting to do in this particular turn, so yeah. Back to Grimgore.
Rider of the Dragon in Carmine.
Let's see what he's got in his stack. Basically, all the regiments of renown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 regiments of renown. That's pretty interesting, but yeah, the Greenskins have a ton of regiments of renown. Go.
Dark magics I bring from the shores of death. You should fear me, my friends, but not half as much as the enemy will.
Is it me, or does Elspeth make louder speeches than certain other lords? Not that that's a bad thing, mind you. Anyway, here we go. Time to move on forward. Together with the rockets, Elspeth will start casting a Purple Sun of Zoreus in the midst of the enemy forces, while our rockets try to bring down the Doom Divers and the Hammer of Gork. And I expect bring them down rather quickly. The explosion radius has been upgraded thanks to Gelt's inclusion in our roster. And of course, those guys are pretty darn good at bringing down artillery. Elspeth continues floating overhead. She's popped off a Spirit Leech on Mr. Grimgore after that Purple Sun of Zoreus, and then followed up with a nice Fate of Biuna on the Crimson Killers. And though they're not taking a crazy amount of damage, being a super heavily armored troop, every little bit will count. Otherwise, the enemies are trying to charge forward as our Wissenland's welcomers are annoying them with the... and with their grenades, and surprisingly, they were high damage dealing enough to get the Swamp Things out of there. Kind of impressive. Anyway, here come the rest of the enemy forces at last in range of our Nuln Ironsides. Got to love watching those repeater rifles work. There you go, that's a heck of a scary gun line. We definitely got to mix iron sides with Hellblasters in at least a couple of armies. Since we can't get rattling guns. I guess maybe Elspeth's army I could have gone for the Hellblaster tanks rather than the regular tanks, but all good. Because she has cannons and I want to replace the cannons with cannon tanks. I feel like that still makes decent amounts of sense. Anyway, the enemy is having a pretty tough time reaching us. Black Orc Big Boss attempts to charge us. Grimgore gonna get hit with another Spirit Leech and then approximately 1,000 bullets to the face, dropping him down to 10% of his HP. He is going to turn, realizing that he can do nothing about any of this, and will actually fall. Rockets will impact Scram Daruffy, who is going to book it on out of there as well, but gets hit with Death's Timekeeper and gets brought down by Elspeth. All the while, rockets, gunfire, cannon fire, grenades keep dropping down on the Orc host, and it looks like they will be turned away. And the battle is ours. All those regiments of renown, all that heavy armor and thick hide of Grimgore, not enough to outdo the Foundries of Nuln or the Master of the Amethyst Order. Very, very nice. All right, that worked pretty darn well. And it looks like our losses, if they exist at all, are going to be minimal. Extremely, extremely minimal. Alright, there we go. Sorry, Grimgore, but massive pile of regiments of renown aside, that type of army just was not going to cut it. Just wasn't. Especially with them slightly damaged still from wiping out the Tomb Kings here. Got 1,000 prestige for our trouble, a little bit of cash, an obsidian trinket, which will probably turn into another item, and we'll occupy the place, and hopefully quickly take all the territories that Grimgore has here. I don't think that he has any kind of army here, so we'll need to just try to grab Doom and, block off and Blackfire Pass before massive numbers of armies start heading our way. Barded Warhorse for some guy, Bailiff for some for nobody, and let's see, we're at 19 out of 20, so let me just do some calculating here. If we replace one of these cannons with a tank and take out the other one, we'll be at 18 out of 20, meaning we would have room to put an Empire Captain and a second Engineer both in the army. I don't dislike that. Yeah, I think that's the one. That's then what we'll do. I don't want to go too heavy on additional artillery because I don't want Elspeth to win every battle with just too great ease in terms of overpowering range firepower. So, yeah. Alrighty. Governor Billings, you don't need to move. Gavin von Wolfen. I guess you're going up to Cragmere. I'm just going to assume that we can deal with the changeling with Theodric von Blutten. And whether it's actually going to be the case remains to be seen, but, well, I guess we'll see. And then you will forget Giga. You are going to grab from Marius Lightdorf. Wait, do you have enough points to do this? Yeah, you have plenty of points. Alright, I guess, yeah, you're going to grab the... Well, then again, we can still use Marius as an actual army. And this does buff halberds? It does. And this buffs halberds as well? It does. It's not as good as Armorer Pedigree, but still nice. Alright, fine. Lightdorf, you're then going to proceed towards the Nemesis Crown. Dig site as close to it as you can manage. Right here, and then I guess you'll follow, because any units in that army that is not destroyed will still be dealt with. I'm just laughing, because, you know, getting the Nemesis Crown, sending Marius Lightdorf to grab the Nemesis Crown, just from a lore perspective, him being the Mad Count, is maybe not the brightest move, in the sense that out of anybody who might be tempted to grab it for themselves, probably him, but anyway. Gavin, I guess you're pushing up this way then. Move towards Cragmere. Oh, you know what? Just march stance. You might get ambushed, but I'm willing to bet that even if you do, the enemy won't be able to... Ah, wait, never mind. There is a full stack here. And that's not a bad thing if we can pop into... I was having to pop into ambush. If there's a full stack here, it might mean there's a second full stack in Cragmere, meaning you're probably just going to channel then and then start moving. Richter, you were the guy I was going to use as another recruiter. Alright, so you are going to be recruiter. And you're going to be a generalist recruiter, as I recall, unless we make you into a builder. Recruitment cost -20, not experienced. It's not bad. Versus the -8% construction cost. Maybe we can maybe we're better off using you as a builder rather than a recruiter. Especially since we need reductions in terms of the construction costs in Arienburg. Well, either way, you need to deliver these units to somewhere. Huh, we can probably put them into... Well, probably put them into this army. Yeah, alright. You're gonna go up there and deliver them. Go into march stance. Start going up this way. And just hope that these guys don't immediately declare war on you and kill you. Well, I guess we'll find out. They might try to take the opportunity. Just in case they do, let's grab Grand Soulfire. You also have... Oh, Pistol Corps was the main thing, but... Well, let's go through Emperor's Finest, just in case. We're going to reset you shortly anyway. Alright, just to keep them alive if the Skaven decide to attack us. Boris Broch and Humphrey Bruckert, you guys are going for orcs. We need Bretonnian territories. Alright, then I guess we'll lose one of the Outriders, or no, one of the Hellblasters in this army. Alright, take out a Hellblaster, replace it with a tank. With a, you know, a Hellblaster tank. Like so, and tank for Hellblaster, and then we'll get you another Hellblaster. I assume these guys can't be evolved into tanks, they cannot, so we can delete you. And then you can, I guess, be reset until you're ready to deliver another tank. Alright, lovely. How's the other guy, who's also in Bretonnia? Oh wait, that's you. You've taken Grungzent, and you're just going to sit there until we're ready to trade it off. Okay, that looks good. Jurgen. I would like you, or specifically, where's the other guy? You. Ralph. I want you to travel through this territory because I want to see if there's any other islands that are close by. We can't... Well, you can land at Dietershafen afterwards. Okay. Alright, I don't see any new islands. Do we keep traveling down the coastline? Do we go for the scaling? How many territories do they have right now? They have currently 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, so they're all the way out here. Alright, you know what? I'd like you to go down the coastline first. We need to keep an eye on them.
Ready to serve.
Maybe we'll land at Ulfenich? Yeah, there we go. We got some defenses there. It's a tier 5 settlement. That's probably the place to land. And obviously we're going to be trading all their territory back to the Yerson Revivalists because they can put it to good use, and it's red territory and it's not something we want to deal with. Alright, and Governor Herzella doesn't need to move. Theodoric von Blutten, you're going to try to attack the Changeling. He'll probably disappear again, but who knows, maybe he'll try to fight, and if he tries to fight, we should take advantage of knocking his army out. You are missing what? Okay, so you want to buff up the swords, so Strength of Hardship, and you want to get Stand Your Ground, you want to get Sharpshooter. We have 1 more point remaining, but nobody else will be able to take advantage of the high level. Why did you have Honest Steel? Oh, because you have a couple of great swords. I guess you could go through a couple of great swords. Alright, fine. Honest Steel it is. Alright, what about you? Celestial Wizard. What do we have here? We could actually go all the way through to improved scrying techniques and stuff, but I feel like we're going to need Chain Lightning for this particular battle, so let's do Chain Lightning and then Arcane Conduit, and... oh, we should still have enough, so Studious Pupil. Let's go Miscast Base Chance Reduction first, I think. Oh, actually no, Winds of Magic cost, probably the better pick then. I mean, technically you need everything here, but... yeah, we'll do that. Then both Machinations of the College and improved scrying techniques. You are currently at war with Stirland and nobody else. Stirland, give us money.
By Sigmar's will, come in peace.
Thank you. Let's see if he runs. Let's see if he stays or if he goes. If he runs, it'll be annoying because, well, he'll be in the midst of our territories, but it is what it is. Go. Oh, we're in range of this. Damn, that's actually going to screw us over because then he'll definitely run because he won't want to fight those guys. Oh. I'm wrong. I am very wrong. Alright, we're fighting. Let's go. Alright, while battle does indeed await, we don't necessarily want to push the battle before the Stirlander reinforcements arrive. Admittedly, we could obviously win the battle without them, but the way I figure it, we want to take advantage of the fact that they're here in order to make sure that we wipe as much of this army out as possible, as the non-demonic units will escape, and the changeling is just such an annoyance to deal with, especially until we fully confederate the rest of the Empire. He's going to maintain his forces. Anyway, the way that we've deployed it is thusly. We've got our war wagons essentially in the center with the mortar firing away at and annoying the enemy. We've got two sort of individual units of melee and melee-ish troops with the great swords in the lead, mostly because they're more heavily armored, even if they're unshielded. Swordsmen behind them, fragile as they are, and then the Free Company militia directly behind them, such that they can fire either through the gaps in the lines that will inevitably form or through to the flanks, and then backwards as needed as well, which is one of the great things about Free Company. We haven't had a lot of defensive sieges in this particular campaign, but I love using Free Company on walls in sieges, since they can fire backwards as well. They're really helpful in that regard. Anyway, behind them obviously we have the lines of handguns, the Hawkland long rifles, and the unknown Ironsides. Anyway, we've got 1 minute until the Stirlanders arrive. Just going to speed it up while we continue dropping shells on the enemy, and there we go. It looks like they're annoyed enough already. I honestly expected them to take a little bit longer to get sufficiently annoyed, so we're going to see if we're going to suffer for this. Anyway, Hawkland long rifles will fire away. Yeah, those look like some quality rifles they've got there. Go figure. Alright, it's time for the enemy to start firing away at us with the blue fires. Probably going to drop a few spells on us in moments. There we go. Searing Doom comes down on the swordsman, and we're gonna pop off a chain lightning on some of the enemy blue horrors as well. Poor marauders of Tzeentch spears are getting gunned down by our rifles, but our great swords will take a nice couple of volleys from several blue horrors, and we'll lose about 20% of their HP. Chaos Spawn will charge forth. Probably a little bit of friendly fire damage as well, as we try to gun down those Chaos Spawn and Forsaken alike, while our reinforcements start making their way onto the field. The Stirlanders have arrived and will be attempting to flank the enemy, though we are getting flanked ourselves. The Screamers of Tzeentch are making their way towards us, going to try to focus them down as best we can, and at least the first one will get torn to shreds by 3 units of gunners. And it looks like the second one will go after a war wagon. Pretty good use of these guys. I think the war wagons are fragile and the screamers are anti-large, but again we have multiple handguns, handgun variants are ready to knock them out, and of course the war wagons do high damage in defending themselves as well. A burning chariot getting a few nice blasts of flame off on us. Changeling and his clone sort of in the center of the formation as well, and it looks like our swordsmen are going to rout, but otherwise the battle is going very much in our favor, and the balance of power roughly 90% in our favor. There we go. Changeling takes another nice couple of volleys, dropping him down to a mere 30% of his HP. I do believe he did use his transformation ability. He turned into Scarbrand for like 5 seconds, but then Scarbrand is such a huge target, we simply targeted him with our long rifles and whatever else, and he changed right back to recover his HP. Though he did not recover it for long, as the Changeling will be out of there together with his clone. And now, with him out, it looks like the balance of power shifts into 90-95% in our favor. We did take a big volley to one of our great swords from one of the flamer units, but otherwise it looks like the battle quickly, very quickly I should say, went in our favor, which admittedly is unsurprising in this particular situation. We did outnumber the enemy heavily, so they, well, be 2-1 because of the Stirlanders, and thus they had no chance. But it had to be done. We'll face plenty of fights, and have faced and will face plenty of fights where we are heavily outnumbered. But I really just don't want to deal with the Changeling, or want to minimize the amount that we have to deal with the Changeling. Alright, just a couple more Chaos Spawn to break. as they are unbreakable, and we can chase down whatever units we can, like those enemy chariots. And the mortal units will of course escape, unlike the demonic, and there's a few that probably we can't catch, but all good. By and large, I'd say about 95% of the army is destroyed, though I'm sure at least some of the demons will get reforged, but we shall see right now. Obsidian Blade, not a bad find. Otherwise, the enemy army is, at the very least, severely damaged. 3 4 units did come back, and 1 unit did survive. But, well, the main stack, at the very least, is in a pretty bad shape after this. Take the money, it's 3k. Alrighty, oh, we got really 78 Zinchen corruption here is quite a bit, and defeated the changeling, great. Yeah, post-battle chance of stealing a magical item, nice. And Obsidian Blade, Steel Standard, and okay, so I take it that the enemy army is no longer visible. You're gonna heal here.
Yes.
And then we're going to still have to find them. We have buildings, we got cults in Stirland, and the AI will never wipe them out, meaning we need to confederate Stirland in order to debuff them. But Stirland has one of the last essential slots of the stuff that we want to confederate out of all of the remaining ones. Oh, also that reminds me, we got to appoint an Elector count of Sylvania, which gives cause fear and terror, Stalberg's letter, immunity to psychology, corruption -5 local province, unit XP when fighting vampire counts, vampire coast, and tomb kings, fighting against undead. Most likely it'll be one of the factions that is moving towards helping in Bretonia that'll be fighting the undead there. We could always give the Stalberg's letter to somebody else and make use of this for now, like, wait, Marius Lightdorf, wait, Theodoric von Blutten, you're not a, wait, are you an electric count of anything? Mother's Ruin, okay, so yes you are. Averland. Just to double check here, Averland is down here, so you can, wait, no, that's down here. This gives growth all provinces, casualty punishment for your army, but okay, no particular buffs to you personally, so I guess that's fine for von Blutten. You're the Elder of the Moot, Marius Lightdorf. I could see him going to the, Halflings, Elector Count of Sylvania. Alright, so who the heck can we pop into there? And again, we could do it temporarily and then give it up to somebody else later.
What does the Emperor bid?
Can't be Lightdorf. Can't be Recruiter von Wolfen. I'm tempted almost to give it to one of these guys because they're closer to these guys.
What does the Emperor bid?
Although it's more critical that we take territory from the orcs than from the... Yeah, especially with this. These guys are reclaiming Castle Bordelot, which would have been really helpful in trading away these territories, which we now probably won't be able to do. But nonetheless, there is Castle Rachard and... Ooh, that's a question. Maybe Moussillon. Maybe that'll be a better use of our time. Especially since these guys aren't doing anything. Because it's not like we fully intend on keeping Sigmarsheim territories around, so there might be a better use for them there. I'm just checking if anybody else can benefit from this. Oh, did I oh, right, I wanted to test the theory, but we're not going to make you the Nordland count as yet. Hell Cave, which has been, I guess, recently taken... Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because these guys can then jump down here. Okay, Marius Lightdorf, you may actually have to move northward through Karak-Drin then. Huh. Alright, fine. And I believe... Wait, is Dolph an electric count of anything? I don't believe he is. That's surprising. Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Alright, Bloodbringer. We could give him the Visenland Runefang for that speed reduction, which would be helpful in his army, generally speaking. Although, there are other armies that could probably use this as well. It's a pretty solid debuff. Alright, I guess we can make Dolph the Electric Count of Sylvania for now, but I'm going to swap that out to somebody else, especially because he already causes fear and terror with his... Well, yeah, you know what? Can anybody benefit from the fear and terror causing?
Champion
Friendly Heartman. Now, funnily enough, Kurt Helborg would be a decent option for this because he's going to be a Grand Master and this won't cause fear and terror. In fact... And we do have another armor pedigree available, though I was probably going to give that one to Myrmidia and then maybe make this guy the Elector... make this guy to Kurt Helborg with the Dwarfen Plate armor and the decent levels. It's not like the Reiksguard foot will need the additional armor. Yeah, you know what, let's make it you. Wolfric Ergiger, you are going to be thus the Elector. You should be at the end here somewhere, close to it. I can find you. There we are. Alright, like so. Alright, that gives you the Stahlberg's letter, and we could probably transfer that to somebody else for a time until we're ready for you. This also gives us the ability to recruit the Knights of Moor, which will need their own army. I guess you can at least get one of them on field right now. I don't want to spend the money. Oh, this is a 2 out of 2. Okay, we'll need another one of those as well. Get one on field right now. We're going to transfer it to another army, a more centered army. I'll have to figure out what other allied troops will go well in there. And then you can at least have one Wissenberg's Velkomers, and we got 5-4. But the rest are fine. Alright. Alright, back to looking at things in order to see who else. Lots of fighting in this particular turn, but that's good. Emil von Corden, you're still waiting for the last of your units, which I guess you technically have now. Alright, fine. Go move southward and then pick up this. Alright, here. I like so. And you're going to have to pick up this champion anyway, so go right to the edge of this territory. Then you will be transferred into the army. Like so. And I guess you can move this way, because you can get a little bit closer to Altdorf, which will summon the your wizard at a higher rank. And plus you need one more Empire Captain, one more champion in your army, and then you'll be good. Minus possibly putting a couple of Noble Sons Abroad in there. But we could also probably replace these guys with it. Ooh, also, if we do, wait, 18, 19, or we could remove a couple of these and put a couple of Amber Wizards on Griffins in there to sort of fly around on a Griffin with Emil von Corden. I'll think about it. I don't want to go overboard. That could also be a very punchy sort of thing to do in another army, which would also work quite well. It'll work quite well with anybody. Gosser, you're kind of stuck where you are. You're just kind of hoping to sit here and hold on to these troops, but Troop Train... Well, Gosser's logistically minded, so we could give all of these guys to Troop Train rather than have him command them and then reset him, because he can serve as a recruiter somewhere. Like so. And how many more turns again until we've got the Northern Mariners? Not the Gunderman Shore Fries, 5 turns until the Northern Mariners. Alrighty. Alright, Gosser, we're gonna reset you. You no longer serve a sort of army purpose. You can sit there, Troop Train, until I figure out where we want to send those guys. Von Kessel, you are waiting for various types of troops. So you can wait. Aldebrand Ludenhof. Is this sufficient? Do you need to recruit anymore? Let me just see here. We do still have this province's buff, don't we? So that we can recruit fast if we needed to, but I don't think there's anything that's super critical here. I'd like you to go deliver those Wolfkins, so you might as well do it. Or we can have Troop Train to, well, 19, yeah, no, you can't do it. Alright, fine. Ludenhof, go deliver the Wolfkin to Leopold von Bill. Wait, I lied. Sit here, we've got 4 more turns until Altar of Ulrich is ready. Well, no, actually, we got 2 more turns until it's ready here, so we can build Knights of the White Wolf faster over on that side. Alright, then you can indeed deliver them. As to whether it should be 5 or a different number, we will see as we go. Alright, looks good. Who, if anybody else, needs to move? Recruiter Albrecht, you are waiting for the Outriders. They're very much on the way. Guilty, right. Alrighty, well, first of all, we gotta move the Tech Thieves or else bad. Steel Tech? Or at least this Tech Thief. Hey, a free smuggler. I'll take it. Yeah, I guess you're going to grab Bog Creeper's camp, which will max out this province. There is basically nothing there, so we're free to attack them. They are at war currently with the Order of Lore Masters and the Order of the Winter's Sun. I imagine the Lore Masters are a little bit stronger.
I have little choice but to listen.
We will join your war against clan. That was Treacherich. Yes, not Vulcan.
If you say
we'll take it. Alright, and go Gelt. And then I guess we'll have to jump on a few of these guys' territories, maybe even peace out with them if we don't want to knock them out, and then move northward. Can't keep moving Gelt south. Or else he's going far away from where he wants to be right now. Alright, Steel Standard Province Stinklands secured. We're going to pop you into Council of Burgomeisters, delete the thing here, and then afterwards start building up those towns and such. I guess both of them next turn. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could start the Imperial Oil Wells right now. And then this will, yeah, everything here will be fortified because it's red territory. We can't really make good use of it in terms of anything but collecting the trade goods. Anyway, folks, I think with that, this particular turn doesn't look like it's going to have any more battles, and frankly, it doesn't look like it has too much more in the way of moves either, other than potentially Baldric, who's got a long way to travel southward. So keep on traveling, sir. Alrighty, and oh, he's ready to get his other Gunderman Surefires, isn't he? Okay, so we'll get him those next time. But anyway, yeah, it looks like just Tech Thieves and stuff. I'll move the Tech Thieves between the episodes, and then next time when we come back, we'll probably end the turn and then proceed. We've got Skaven to fight. Here we've got to start going through the orcs, just so many orcs in so many places. The Skaven, the orcs in Bretonnia as well. We'll probably start on our first major fight against Norska here at Ulfenec. With Jürgen Wagner, who again doesn't have a full army, but hopefully with the curse of cannibalism, the ogres will be able to deal with it. Karl will continue moving northward to wipe out Azag's faction and then move towards Skarbrand, Throg, and anybody and everybody that he can find up here. And we will continue running down the turns until we can get the next confederations up and running and continue unifying the Empire. Stay tuned for more Karl. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.